Welcome back to Rock Your Best Vocals. Jim here. Have you ever heard of Sul Fiato? Maybe you've heard that term before, but if you haven't, that's a classical singing technique or term that means on the breath. Okay, singing on the breath. So, what does that mean and why is it important? How can it help us? These are all questions we're going to dig into. So, singing on the breath is a strange concept. And I did a video just before this, which was called Inhale when Singing. Okay, so that's inhalare la voce, inhale the voice. This is a similar concept. Solfiato, or singing on the breath, is how we get to a really light place in our voice. Okay, so too many people are pushing their voice and struggling and straining and trying to get up to higher notes. When this concept, when I started to understand this thought of pulling the voice instead of pushing the voice, helped me like far better than anything else, I think, in my entire career. So this is going to help you the same if you employ this, okay? So singing on the breath, what does that mean? And how do we do that? So singing on the breath is similar to inhalare la voce. I talked about this in a previous video, where you kind of, you feel like this. It's the feeling of before you sneeze, that kind of, that's kind of what's happening with that. So on the breath is kind of the beginning of the inhalare la voce. And people may disagree with this, or they go, okay, well, that's not okay. But this is how I understand this, right? This is how I understand this. And this is how this has helped me. So to explain singing on the breath is if you and I were standing here talking, and then all of a sudden we look over and there's a kid that's about to run into the street, right? You and I are just standing here talking, and we're just too far away to do anything about it, but there's somebody close, but we have to yell to them so they can do something about it. So this singing on the breath is we take this breath in, kind of like a gasping breath, and then we sing at the top of that breath. We start to vocalize right up at the top of that. Like, so this is the reason why I use that example, is because it's kind of it's a really quick thing that happens. You take that breath, hey, like you don't take a moment to, and then wait and then sing or vocalize in this, shout in this particular case. We vocalize on the way up. So you're like riding a roller coaster. You're going, this is the breath. And you, hey, up at the top of that. And you keep kind of going up with this kind of feeling like an inhale, right? And what happens with that for me is my abdomen sucks in like, kind of like I'm at the beach, like trying to hold my stomach in. So but it's kind of a rapid movement of all of a sudden my stomach will pull in and up. And the reason this is because when I keep my ribs wide, the diaphragm flattens. Okay, you've heard all this singing with your diaphragm, all this sort of stuff. When you expand your ribs or you take a big deep breath, right, your diaphragm flattens. It sucks air into your lungs, okay? Because it's a dome-shaped muscle that's attached to your ribs, and it's just under here, and it's attached to your lungs as well. So when this flattens, your diaphragm flattens, it sucks air into your lungs like a syringe. So if you keep your ribs wide, and the only way then for air to release out of your lungs and make a sound is to push up against that diaphragm. If you keep your ribs out to the side, your diaphragm's flat. The only way to get any air out is to like push up like a syringe, right? So the stomach goes in and up against that. So it's basic physics, but you'll understand it's hard to get this concept, and it's hard to sing like this at first. Once you get the hang of it, it's quite easy, and it makes singing just so much easier and lighter. For so many years, I was pushing and struggling to hit high notes and forcing, just really forcing with this kind of, a lot of people talk about this kind of, bear down and push really hard. So for a long time, I was like doing that, going, okay, this is what I'm doing, and bearing down and pushing really hard. And I would come away from gigs with like headaches and just in so much kind of fatigue of this forcing up in here. So if you take this approach and you just practice with me, you go, hey, like up at the top, hey, 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 like right up at the top of that breath, then you vocalize, hey. And what I'm doing to push power into it, when I say push, it's more lift power into it. So it's rather than pushing, I'm kind of pulling. I feel like I'm pulling the note up, this little tiny little thread of air. So if you practice with me, just hey, hey, hey. You take that breath in. Hey! Once you start the note, you can really lean into it as if you're yelling, but there's something else that you have to do so you're not pushing too much air, and that's chord closure. And I'm going to do a video on that coming up soon. So because that is also one of the other things that when I started getting better chord closure, that was a complete game changer for me. But this Sul Fiato, sing on the breath, pull the breath up. Don't push, don't force. Use that kind of inhalare. Hey! It keeps everything really light because you're not forcing. Hey! When I do that, you can hear it's just, hey! There's so much strain and everything in here that it just makes everything so much more difficult, right? As far as singing goes, singing should be easy. Singing should really feel like just like yawning. Oh, this is so easy. Oh, so easy to yawn and just be, oh yeah. And that's where this inhalare le voce and the singing on the breath, up at the top where it's light. Oh, just keep it going up. Go up the roller coaster, but just keep going. Don't go down and don't collapse. Use a bunch of breath and tire yourself out. Keep on the up and up, right? With your voice. Keep it rising. Keep pulling the air up, and it'll make everything so much easier for you. I hope this video has helped you. If it does, please hit like and subscribe for more, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching. Rock your best vocals where your best keeps getting better.